Good afternoon, one and all, to the start of an epic journey. We're in Alberton on the east rand of Johannesburg for round one of the Casalaga Pirates Grand Challenge. The home side captain Benny Bottas got together with the opposition captain George Davenish of Wits just a couple of minutes ago for the toss, and the referee Richard Schultz is the official for today's match. And that's how they line up. It's the guard of honor that will take the teams onto the field. The man sitting next to me this afternoon who will analyze, discuss, deliberate, none other than former Alberton player himself, Lawrence Sepaka.
Afternoon, Udo. What a lovely day we have here, and obviously locals come out in their own numbers. Excited. I'm also excited to see, especially how the second team has actually showed up here today. I think things are about to happen. I mean, it's been long that Alberton beating a university team in any level. Certainly the second team did very well there. I think that should be inspiration for the first team, if anything, to go by.
Yeah, the score from that match, 20-14. It's early days in the competition. One of club rugby in South Africa's oldest competitions, the Pirates Grand Challenge, this year known as the Casalaga Pirates Grand Challenge. And that's why the infamous king of the jungle. But the brown shirts are out, the brown jerseys coming out into the park here this afternoon. That should get you super excited.
The Eland have landed, certainly looking the part. Now, just the one on the field that everyone is expecting to see some magic happen. Let's see what these balls can bring. The excitement, you can see everyone is glowing, everyone is smiling, and how excited are they?
As we said, led by Benny Bottas, the captain today, age 26. And just in terms of our coverage of club rugby, a couple of seasons ago, he came out with a mustache. We called him Corporal, and I see these days the nickname is Corporal.
He certainly loved it and adopted it. I think his teammates as well adopted it and actually gave it to him, because he certainly does look apart. Now he has to marshal his troop, inspire them, actually motivate them to come out guns blazing. Certainly that's what we're going to need today.
Well, you're the big man on our team. Talk to us about the big men that we're going to see here between Alberton and Wits University. On the student side, plenty players who are on the fringes of that varsity cup team, but there's some super talent here.
Now, I can tell you, listen, one thing that's for sure, the forwards are going to bring it up. The likes of Schaefer and Dladla, the front rowers are certainly going to come up the mess. The question is, are they going to push for the maximum of time and stuff like that? And certainly that's going to be interesting to see. But Wits, I know they can run all day, but can they bring it up in the front as well? It's going to be an interesting contest to see.
So we saw the toss a little bit earlier. It will be Wits who will have the opportunity to kick off here. The advantage at the toss, when it's almost, there's a little bit of a breeze, but it's not windy conditions today. You're not going to gain too much of an advantage, are you?
Not really. I think the only advantage is just to manipulate the sun, how what direction is actually coming from. But Alberton was very smart to actually go that side instead of the other side, because the sun would have been a problem for them to receive this ball.
The whistle of referee Schultz has blown. Kickoff by Aldrich Oukamp, and not too far. And has this been gathered in by the Wits side? Nope. It will be Alberton ball. So there's a good early start for the Yelander, and it will be Jason Botha, fullback on the day here. Man who's 21 years old, hails from Alberton, went to President High. Will be looking to gain some territorial advantage here. That kick doesn't look like it's going to go out, and now it seems it's gone too far.
Yeah, I was about to say they just what a way to start for them on a positive note. Didn't have much of an angle to work with that, but I think he wanted maximum out of that corner. Unfortunately, sometimes when you want too much, just overspills over your plate, and certainly now they have to scrum exactly where they got a penalty now, but this time they're defending. Let's see how Lindo and Brandon Schaefer are going to handle it this one.
I'm going to leave this to you, Scrum Doctor. Always nice to see the two packs bedding down early. Not too much of an advantage in terms of weight and size for either of the teams here. This is where technique is so important.
Very important. I mean, the weight is a big issue, but sometimes if you can manipulate your body, any weight it would actually do good stability there from first, but the pressure's on. That ball needs to go.
Out through Drew Bennett. And now they'll run it through the hands. The fullback has joined the line. Fantastic tackle in the middle of the park there. Nearly a way through for Similela Nkomo. It's taken up now by Awetu Leshozi. And Drew Bennett wasting no time in getting that ball away. Lovely carry by Maya Zonglisha. It's out at the back again. Now the big men swarming around. That's Josh Ferreira taking the ball up. Get it out through Bennett once more. fly off and into the hands of the centre. He gets caught in possession already, but a little bit of space opening up wide here. Again, Cormo joining the line of attack. And they'll take it back the other way. Lovely quick hands here. Well-oiled machine, but look at that counter shove there. 6 and 4. Roberto Torres and Sean Buerta, the vice-captain. Good defense, but it's still Wits' ball. They crash through via Christo Swanepoel. They take it out wide now through Siak Bulu, the vice-captain. Meters away from the line.
Yeah, lovely stuff then. Contingent is very important now to keep it with the forwards. As I was about to say, 2 phases with the forwards, and then the big men, I think they might have had too many carries than they expected these early stages of the game. I suppose that's the best time for them to be carrying. Nice position. I'm in a very ideal position to get 3, 5 or 7, but they end up giving position away. And the Alberton's defense was resolute, but they don't kick out again. But
again, Buerta doesn't find touch, and a chance to launch the counter here. Swing it through the hands. Good work there by Lungelo Sitole. He gets caught in possession, and Bennett plays it out to that far side. It's taken up again by Leshozi. Man who was born in Richards Bay, then made his way up to Johannesburg. He carries again. There's a couple of more meters made here for the students. Now looking for that tiny little gap. Wonderful work here, but the fly-off bumps off a couple of players. And Oukamp eventually taken to the ground with a fantastic tackle. Still in the hands here. Joshua Herald takes it up. The old Kes boy. Bennett has been a live wire. He's kept the attack moving. Just have a look at how quick they set up here. And they're off again. Compliments of fly half Oukamp, who gets it out wide, but for the handling. Superb opportunity there. Ghana begging.
unfortunately, there's a variation of play there, if I'm first, uncharacteristically as well, because this is a thing that they were known for, champagne rugby, and certainly for them not to handle that ball. I mean, it was a sympathetic pass, it was a short pass. There was no reason for the player to actually drop it that close to the line. Maybe white line fever? It's a possibility.
Well, it's early days. Early days, early in the campaign. We've seen already a couple of kicks that could have brought some relief for a side who's been on the back foot. Alberton not going out. And there, the ball not going to hand. But Wits, they are still good here for territory at least. But it's Alberton's feed at scrum time. Let's see how they control it. Lovely shove there by Wits. Now looking for that touchline again. Will it eventually go out? No, still not. But here's an opportunity. It's gone forward off the hands there, but you've heard the referee Schultz saying advantage. So now Wits through that little gap. Lovely work through the hands once more. Is there support? Sitole takes his man with him, and now on the back foot to Alberton. Can they arrange their defense in time? The fullback there, Nkomo, has kicked it through. Oh, it's the big man who needed to show some skills there. Brendan Schaefer.
More skill than anything else is the nerve that he managed to keep there. Just wait for that ball to go over the 22. And certainly what a save for his team. I think the fullback made a mistake. They shouldn't have kept that ball. Shouldn't have really, Nkomo should have kept that ball in hand. They had numbers on the right-hand side, but like I said, it's early days. They're probably testing the water, maybe testing how long can Alberton's defense hold out.
Pressure keeps coming through Oukamp, and nearly in some trouble there. That man is scragged now and brought to ground. Comes out on the Wits side as well. Bennett gets them away, and once again it's Leshozi, the chosen battering ram, but that's been stripped away. Referee says illegally.
No, that was fine, Udo. I think the defense before that was offside. I think the quick rucks, they're not putting a lot of numbers in, means they're not putting pressure in the rucks. So the Wits is getting their ball a lot quicker, but that in case actually puts a lot of pressure on the defensive side of things. So guys can't get back quick enough. I think someone needs to be put in as a jackal, even if you don't get the ball, but just make sure you're slowing it long enough.
And let's have a look here. A man's got to go to the sin bin here. Clearly see it's one of the big burly members of the pack of the Irlander.
It's blood bin.
Did I say sin bin?
Yeah, it's
blood
bin. No. They're next to one another. Have been behaving so far, so it's been good. Robert Torres is certainly a man built like a beast, like the Hulk. And certainly now has to just go wipe his nose there. I think he's been in the thick of things early in the game.
Interesting decision here to go for touch. How often do we see this choice of the line-out drive meters out? They'll have to execute, yeah? Just wonder, and we always talk about it. Right, so it looks like we eventually have a score to open up proceedings here between Alberton and Wits, and the students, after relentless pressure for the last 8 minutes, have eventually barged over the line. And it's Songisha who's got them in their first 5-pointer. Couple of line-out drives later, and the students eventually going over against the Yolanda.
Yeah, certainly they've warmed up and they had a ball possession for some time in this area. It was just a matter of time that they get their dividends at some point. But I think the timing as well was perfect. We remember the scrum before this, they got pulverized trying to actually have a scrum about 5 meters out, and this time keeping the ball in hand, doing what forwards do, pick and goes. Route one, best route. And they don't miss on, and setting this one low enough power, enough Songisha there. May high Songisha just going over this whole 118 Ks. If you don't tackle that 118, you said you're not going to stop anything.
Aldrich Okampia with the conversion that is pulled to the left. So that investment session of almost 10 minutes, 9 minutes 45, yielding 5 points here for Wits University. And Lawrence Ipaka, warning signs here for your old side, Yolanda, is that they've been pegged back in their own half since the start of play.
Not that by default, I must say, I think their own mistakes, just not respecting the ball, respecting their position on the field this point. And they made 2 mistakes when they needed to kick out, which they didn't manage to do. They could have been on the other side most of the time. I think this probably would be a lesson for them. And I mean, talking about mistakes, another crucial mistake now, bringing him back to the middle. Although their scrummaging is not that bad, it's something that they probably need to put pressure. Use that now as a weapon to try and get the ball back. Clearly, the Corporal's boot is nie skoon gemaak vandag nie. Certainly, that's something they need to sort out.
Well, he's now moved from 10, has Benny Boertes, to inside centre 12. So that responsibility and that kick went to Flyve Keegan for the Skalkwyk. And the one kick they needed to stay in has gone out. And the 2 unforced errors were the touch finders, where the ball simply did not go out. So, as you said, execution key here, just a little bit of a break in play. I see a player in front of us here, just getting a bit of attention. It looks like it could be the lock, Sean Buerta.
Yeah, the big man is running repairs there, obviously a bit of spare wheel vastgemaak and getting ready for a big machine. Remember, he's a main corkscrew in that engine room. He's probably their engine room, and then the other guys like the Lindos need to keep their back straight, and certainly the power will come through. And a good pressure here would be certainly be put to make sure they put Wits under pressure here. They got 2 sides to play for Wits. Are they going to use it? It's going to be interesting now. What kind of ball they get?
Right in the middle of the park. They go to the far side, but a handing error there by Drew Bennett. And unfortunate there, because the field really had opened up for them, and I'm not too sure that the defense was organized well enough on that far side just yet. So a timely knock on there. Drew Bennett, who's probably been the liveliest of the Wits players this afternoon, a man who hails from Stutterheim before moving up to Johannesburg. Matriculated at Kes, King Edward School, in the year 2020. He's also part of the Lions under-21 setup and has been on the fringes, as we said, of that Wits Varsity Cup side. It will be a feed, though, to his opposite number, Tyler Paulson. And out very quickly. Now a little dummy and a pass on the inside to the Corporal. Oh, Benny Boertes finds himself some meters still. Alberton's ball here. Exciting rugby. And Wits need to organize themselves now. The first time they've been placed under pressure. Out wide through Van Skalkwyk. Hands over the ball there from Wits, but it pops in on the inside by that man, Sean Boertes, the vice-captain. And unfortunately, the ascendancy and the threat dissipating there.
Yeah, Mr. Schultz not really punishing Wits there for not rolling away quick enough. I think that was an impediment for Alberton, the Yolanda, not to certainly give that ball nicely cleaned properly enough. I think the Caporal needs to get closer to say, Rev, please, first offense, please have a look at that, because if that player rolled away, they might have had a chance of cleaning that drag. I'm not making an excuse for them, but I suppose first man gets rewarded. So those are the things that needs to remind them as well.
I'm going to hold you to account, you old Alberton player, because I think perhaps the support was just not there quick enough from Alberton. But line out here. And Dagan Muvasa will get the ball started. A little fortuitous in the way that the ball's come back to him. It lands in the hands of Sean Potgieter. And now Tyler Paulson gets it out wide, and another handling error, and it's the Corporal himself. Chance here for Wits just to tidy things up, but that kick, where will it land? In no man's land. Picked up here by the fullback, Jason Buerta. He launches. There's support around him, but it looked, just for a brief second, there was a knock on there. Will be Wits' ball.
That was reckless there from the fullback, and certainly a ball that should have just kept the nerve. Remember, he missed it initially from the air. The ref gave him a second bit of the doubt. So listen, it's not a knock on. You can pick it up and restart. He got it right. Now does a secondary mistake of just throwing it up in the air. With someone coming to clean, and then next minute that's his ball. It's impossible. I mean, Superman probably would have knocked that one on as well.
Yeah, we see the handling skills get better and better as the season goes on, but encouraging signs here. Both teams looking to get the ball through the hands of the runners as quickly as possible. On the back foot here of Wits with a scrum. Wonderful work by Alberton's back. Through the middle, superbly there by Joshua Herold. And he's making meters, eventually ankle tapped, and that will bring him to ground. But work by Bennett there again to keep them going. Love how the fullbacks have had no problem in joining the line of attack here. Taken up by Josh Ferreira, looking to break through. Play it out wide again into the hands of Oukamp, and joining the attack lovely from the ground. They're looking to just keep the forward momentum going, but this has been taken away now by the big man, Mailangwe. And now the big boot from Van Skalkwyk, and that will spiral off the outside of the boot. Caught in possession is Thomas Meintjes. Can Alberton win this back and launch? They do indeed. They come to the near side here. Full of running is this fullback, Jason Buerta. Old President High player, and now they play it back onto the inside. Good work there by Robert Torres. And this is good. Retention of the ball by Alberton. First passage of play where they've been able to do that. It's Danny Westenberg. It was brought to ground there. Van Skalkwyk decides to come back to this near side again. Taken up by the vice-captain Buerta. Now where's that support? Bodies over the ball. This is looking really good. Maybe the fourth or fifth phase of play here. And there goes the captain. Buertas. Hy laat nie op hom wag nie. A lovely defense there by Lungelo Setole. Nice little dummy by Christian Leroux. Eventually runs into traffic. That's a sniping little dart. And unfortunately, Alex Venter has lost that one, and now Wits have an opportunity to launch the counter from the hooker's hands. Duigen Meerwissen. Eventually it gets into the hands of the fly-off. He's going to go all the way. Beautiful work. There's Ulrich Oukamp will round off. A fantastic try. It pretty much was started off by a mini break by the hooker of Wits, Duigen Meerwissen.
I think Alberton will be very, very actually disappointed with that. From attack to defense, and then a split of a second, you're giving points away. That could have gone totally different if that offload to the little scrum half actually went into hand. Tyler Paulson, when that offload was not key, he was actually gone. There was no defense whatsoever. And in a jiffy, Wits turned it up and actually did what you do with a turnover ball. Send it to the open field. There's no defenses. Alberton had the ball in hand the whole time. And unfortunately, because there's no defenses, that was basically just job done there from the student.
2 points added by Oukamp, the second conversion. First one that succeeded with today. He's got 7 points in the game, that try. And just have a look there. Wonderful work by Meerwissen. Lovely pass on the inside again by Sitole. And that pretty much put the fly-off away for Wits University, and Ulrich Oukamp coming up with the second try for the students.
Ulrich Oukamp just doing the basic skills there, but a T to the book. Remember, while in traffic, never run with the ball in one hand, run in two hands. That's always going to cause some confusion in terms of defense. And then when you're done and clear, and then certainly you can go back and hold it with one hand. That was well displayed there, exactly how it's supposed to be. Alberton making mistakes again. Now this is Achilles heel, because these are the mistakes they really cannot afford. They're doing so well, but now these elementary errors that they're making now, they're taking themselves literally out of the game, which is something they'll probably come to rue at the end of this game.
You said it earlier on, that it's wonderful to see Corporal, captain, running into gaps as much as he is, but he just needs to settle his players here, because they certainly are chasing the game, but they're not out of it. And it's these unforced errors that are costing them at the moment.
And this is ideal time. Remember, these big boys, they're working very well at the moment because they've got energy. Now to tap on that energy would not dividends of a result whatsoever for their efforts. They'll run out of steam before second half even is there. So they need to be careful how they treat this rugby ball. They need to show a bit more respect. Maybe give someone else a ball to kick, as I was talking about reserves running dry. There goes a scrum backwards.
A little sexy kick over the top there, but this is going to fall in the hands of Botha, who loves running it. Had an opportunity just to tidy, but that angle was very tight there for the touch finder. It's going to come out through Tyler Paulson. By the way, is also the son of forwards coach for Alberton, Hendrik Paulson. Now this has landed straight up in the hands of Wits, and they have the chance to counter. Similelo Nkomo needs two men to take him down in the middle of the park. Good position here for Wits. Picked up superbly there by Joshua Herald. Could have kept the ball in hand there, but he was playing off an advantage.
Yeah, I think Joshua Herald has got eyes behind his head as well. I didn't know that Rev actually give an advantage. But that was an individual effort that was trying out there, which I'm sure the coach will never be upset with that, because, I mean, playing at advantage, you probably have the license to do whatever you want.
How many times have you seen your backline players go, no, I heard it. I heard the call for advantage.
Actually saw the hand go out. Hence, I took that sniff. I took that dip. And certainly will be telling him that at some point here. Very interestingly enough, I mean, Alberton certainly putting themselves unnecessarily under pressure here, and some of the big boys are starting to walk here. You can tell that this release game is going to have its toll at some point to some of these boys.
I tell you what, that was a very kick. Take nothing away from what Aldrich Houkamp could do there. Now took the play all the way up to and beyond the 22 of Alberton. Remember, the first strike came from the line-out drive. And lovely pick up there by Josh Ferreira. Good throw by Dagan Miervis, and immediately they snipe. Looking for a way through there. There's a way to Lishozi, and barging their way over the line once more. Try time, number 3 for Wits. It's all going the way of the students at the moment. And is that the captain?
I think it's Joshua Ferreira.
That's George. No, it is Josh Ferreira. Apologies. I thought for a second there it was George Devonish.
Yeah, no, certainly it was so quick. I mean, quick ball there with men running onto it with speed as well. He actually had a lot of space around to utilize, but he felt like the person in front of him was not worthy tackle. Certainly just bulldozed him out of the way. Next to the post, making the kick sort of a formality as well, to just push on the score there a bit further from Alberton. And I'm sure Alberton will start regretting some of the mistakes they made early in the game here. Like I was saying, you can see there's a lot of good things happening here. The guys, I mean, really, they've got 2 bios. One the conditioning coach, one is the bio. Certainly, they probably got the goods to have some engines built into those V6s. Problem part is, how do you actually keep on going? Look at the highlights. Look at a quick ball. You see now the defense was really backpedaling, and Corporal was probably still looking for his handbrake. And certainly the pressure was too much on him to handle that.
Yeah, for a big man just to upright there in the tackle. The man was right in front of him. So the defense needs to be questioned here. 3 unanswered tries in the first half. We've only had 22 played. This will go deep into the hands of the man born in Matatiele, Similelo Nkomo. Calls himself, by the way, Messi. Reckons he's the GOAT, the greatest of all time. This is lovely work here by Maya Sonleisha, scorer of the game's first try. He's taken it all the way up to the halfway line. And Wits, they've been rampant. They continue on attack. Lovely by Herald. And Nkomo a little bit high there, but brought to ground nonetheless. They'll retain the ball. Bennett gets them going again. Lovely little handoff there by Thomas Meintjes. Now they'll swing it wide. No real momentum in that move, but have a look at the big man go. My goodness. Swanepoel there, superb. They bring it back on the inside again. You heard the referee say there they were playing off the advantage, but an intercept. Just after the advantage call.
Well, I can tell you one thing, he saved himself a yellow card from playing well. The ref has already called advantage here, because there've been trouble if he stopped that press from going. Remember, he's been hanging on this area. Seems like this is his department. The one time he actually made a beautiful tackle, got up and stole the ball. That was some of the good stuff that Alberton has done. Unfortunately, this one not hitting the hands as well. Man, you're looking at props running in the outside there, getting some meters. So it just shows whose energy levels are being replenished at the moment and whose energy levels are being depleted. I think Alberton will start feeling the pain at some point. We've only been busy just over 20 minutes, not even much over the halfway of the first half. Certainly something to worry about, but I think rugby is a funny game. You just need a bit of a breather and then suddenly you're back on the horse again.
Mjevasa, the former Sharks under-20 player, goes to the back of the line-out now, but that was not straight. And understandable, he wants to get as far back as possible to really have the defense at 6s and 7s with the line-out drive. Shallower you go, the easier it is to set up the defense there. But perhaps just a bit ambitious, but they can play the flair rugby. They've got a 19-point advantage at the moment.
Listen, that's 1 point he probably wanted to get. He needed to get that ball at the back here. I don't think they would have even driven. They would have probably just OT and play. Unfortunately, Potgieter, he certainly with a single left in front caused some havoc for the hooker to lose his confidence there.
Feed by Paulson. The scrum a little bit under pressure here, but it comes out okay. Van Skalkwyk looking for the touch finder, will get it as well. And that's they can play outside their 22, so a little bit of relief. They'll just breathe here. And we've seen this Alberton side, they're capable of putting good phases together. But so far, it's all been in their own half.
Yeah, I think as well, I think the excitement might have been too much from their point of view as well, because they really were up for the game. Sometimes probably too much. They needed to come down. I think they just stole another one against the head there. And they need to just make sure they get out of their own half where they're playing advantage for the knock-on. Scrum is going to come to their side, and I think they need to really come this side here. The left winger is cruising and with unabated, just chilling. Only the thing he does is to basically run balls up. He hasn't actually received anything under pressure whatsoever, so they need to learn. Maybe they don't have a lot of kickers. They've got some ambition that they actually want to keep the ball in hand. They want to run most of the time. But why not? Rugby is supposed to be exciting with ball in hand, but if you don't look after it, you're in trouble.
You've got to build the foundations first, and how interesting it is that with those two touch finders early in the game not going out, they've perhaps just tried to play a slightly different game, and now they are chasing the game, and Wits are looking for another try. Wonderful work here by Joshua Herald. He certainly has the slick feet on the inside here to Josh Ferreira. He's got a try in the game already. Oh, and that's gone off a foot there. Not too sure if it's a Wits or a Alberton foot. Referee says it was... there we go. Man's explained himself. He was holding on there.
Yeah, Danny Westenberg, they certainly did a good job saving Alberton, who certainly were in trouble, considering they just took a scrum against the head there. That was a turnover scrum. And certainly something's gone really wrong there with the Alberton pack. And the guys like Lindo literally having no second shove whatsoever. A hit alone is not enough. You need that second shove. You need everyone on deck to make sure that they understand what your system is, to make sure you get it through. Now, at the moment, I think people that are getting it right, it also could be coming down to just pure confidence. And certainly Wits actually is playing with a smile, so it means they're not getting tired as much. Five-man option is what they choose to do. So it's going to be very tricky what actually Wits close here. Close front, close at the back. Front ball easy given.
Malangwe finds his man. Sean Potgieter there with the good rise and jump. And again, it's the fullback joining the line. Jason Bueta with the crash ball there. Now Benny Buetas has ball in hand. He's brought to ground. He's always looking for that little half gap. Step on the inside here by Van Skalkwyk, and he's got the wing and inside centre with him. Slow progress here, but this is what we've been talking about. Alberton are capable of putting the ball through phases. They just got to keep doing this, keep plugging away. Lovely work here, lovely break by Robert Torres. They'll keep going through Christian Leroux and play it out wide, and there's a break on now. Have a look at this. Back on the inside, it stays in hand. And now back on the outside, lovely, lovely. Fantastic work there by Byron van Onselen.
Very nice, Udo. Certainly that's why they play and let play. He passed early enough. They certainly stayed alive on the inside for a return play. What a lovely way of the number 8 staying on his feet and making sure he just returns a favor. That was lovely done there from the young man. Certainly a man who can play in the middle as well. So straddling his leg, and look at that beautiful run. Yes, he thought he was gone there, but the cover was on. Bought some time, inside pass, perfectly weighted pass. And the tackle was complete. He had options right or left, and he chose a perfect one to the provider to recipient in a split second.
Match awareness there from Byron van Onselen, 24-year-old from Alberton. He knew he needed the support on the inside. It came, and then he found himself in a good position to round it off eventually. Now, the deficit can be hauled in. Van Schalkwyk needs a good kick, but I'm afraid he's pushed this out wide. So 5 points gets Alberton, the Irlander, in the game. The score 19-5 with just over 10 minutes to go in the first half.
If you're walking a game of 10 minutes, essentially that's a 10 minutes. They probably came alive on the third part of the 10 minutes. You're splitting your game up. Certainly this is a one. They need to keep the pressure on, maybe take the heat off, and then certainly put it back on Wits here, because Wits, they thought they were away with it and cruising nicely, but I think they need to actually get shook a bit.
Restart here from Aldrich Houkamp, and that's off the hands. The man who's gone hero to villain.
Hero to 0 in 2 seconds. Unfortunately, that man, he just fell asleep there. That might have been the sun as well. Remember, we talked about the sun, but I don't think he really actually was using that one. He just was too relaxed there. He needed to have this basket covered, and that basket had a big hole. Went right through, give the ball back to Wits there.
Well, you may have a point. The sun just starting to set over the main pavilion here at Alberton Rugby Club. So it would have been in his eyes, but I got a funny feeling he still had his mind on the try that he had just scored. And now he's got his side in trouble. And once again, it's those unforced errors that we're talking about. Wits in a very good position here.
Probably a dance he actually thought he never did, but I think this is a good scrum, but they're not covering that scrum of rule. But let's see what Wits does with this ball right between the centers there.
Tricky player, the outside centre. It's man and ball at the same time. Gormo also caught in possession. The defense was so flat there.
They had to, I think actually Alberton very well, that they were shooting. They didn't know all umbrella defense coming from outside in, forcing Wits back into where the forwards are coming from. Remember, they had a scrum over there. The scrum was decent, but I don't think the scrum half is actually putting enough pressure on his opposite number. If the scrum is a loose head, and then obviously it means he can actually try to just get, because you need to stay behind the ball. And you can pass the flank and actually just dive and get in between the ball, but you got to try and catch it. If you don't catch it, you probably just give a penalty away.
Right, will be feed here for Irlander. What's been a clean scrum all afternoon, it's just become a little bit fidgety. Richard Schultz, the referee, is asking them to just be a little bit more organized. It's early days, so stamina will be tested even in the first half, Lawrence.
No, listen, it's not easy, and Mr. Schultz understands as well. That's why he's coming both sides down. So listen, it's been a tough game, but we started very well. Let's keep the standard. The binds needs to be in place. And that's a beautiful scrum from Alberton, a solid scrum. They need to just have a perfect exit here.
Porter looking for that exit play with a big touch finder. He's not going to find it, and Cormo has a chance for a counter. He's in full flight here. Couple of players in front of him. Good work there by Thomas Meintjes. He keeps it going. Still alive here for Wits. They're just outside the 22, but it's somehow been stripped away through all those bodies. Mailangwe, the hooker, gets it away, and Alberton are looking to run it out of their own territory. This man needs no invitation, Jason Buerta, to run it. Now they just got to keep it tidy, keep it through the phases. Where's the support there for Alberton? Coming, arriving a little bit late. Eventually it does, just in time. Now popping out there through Van Schalkwyk, and a big hit there on Brennan Schaefer. It's flying in here.
I think Schaefer is trying to do what his hooker was actually failing to do. Lesigo there. That turnover should have gone out immediately to the outside backs. Let them get some space. They've got a bit of vision. They could have just put it at Wits back there and then push them back, but they're trying to keep it in hand. But unfortunately, by the time you're trying to do champagne rugby in the fourth phase, defenses are in place and everyone is awake. But I think they were playing under advantage there, because I think Wits was offside a couple of times. And what a time for the big men also to catch a breath. They've been in the thick of things, keeping the ball in hand there, and that's a good tactic as well. The big man, I think his shoelaces must have been told, listen, loosen up, I need to tie something quickly. Obviously, Swanepoel has been rough in the office, but he's had a couple of runs as well. So certainly, why not take a bit of a time to fasten those beautiful looking boots? Sometimes they've got a mind of their own. Just loosen up without being told. Back on the drawing board. Line out, I think, is going to be a short one again. Alberton consistently using the short man line out. It's going to be very interesting now. Where do they go? They've been very successful in terms of getting that front ball. So they need to keep with that one.
Malangwe again. That ball does not find the jumper. And Wits have stripped this away. Litany of errors that have been the Achilles heel here for Alberton. On either side of that solitary try that they've scored. Number 4, Alex Venter, came through there at breakneck pace. Clean catch. Now Buerta will take it up. As we said, he loves running, but where's his support? Taken down there by Kevin Cherwa. Stripped away as
lucky.
well.
He is lucky because I think they was reckless. He was basically one of the last men and last line of defense. You don't play that with your players. All his players were in front of him. He needed to kick that ball back there with interest because first made a mistake of not kicking out. But luckily for them, the ref was on their side, Mr. Schultz, because the left winger there didn't release quick enough Kevin Chirwa and gave a penalty where he was too eager himself. But another chance here. Front ball is close. I think now the hooker Lisijo needs to find another option. Or the line-out specialist needs to give him an option. Front to back.
Tell me if I'm wrong here, but is this the first touch find into the half of it? Keep it going, that's lovely. The hooker's done his job this time, and they're looking for quick ball. Will they get it? It's out through Paulson. A little bit belabored, though. And Van Skalkwyk looking for his man on the outside. Good little pass to the outside centre, Annie Westenberg, who still has possession of the ball, but Joshua Herold has been good in defence and attack today for Wits. He's stunted the momentum there. Now, perhaps a little bit in front of the passer there, but the referee sees nothing wrong with it. They keep going. Little cute kick over the top, but it's going to land straight in the hands of his opposite number. So all that pressure that was bowling with the time remaining now gives Wits an opportunity to get out of trouble and keep the ascendancy.
Yeah, and I tell you, listen, they were doing everything right now. They were impatient as well. They needed to keep the ball in hand. They were just getting momentum, and then after Schaefer could that flat pass that you probably thought was slightly forward, they should have kept it in hand, have that confidence going. The people that were under pressure, it's Wits. Remember, this is their 22. They don't want to make a mistake that's going to let in a try. Let's see if now they can get this easy quick ball here.
I'm afraid it's been sloppy, but that is a big hit. Was that man in possession of the ball?
Yes, he was.
I don't know.
Yes, he was. Remember,
and he was in the air as well.
It was a scrappy ball, and then remember, Schaefer saw it coming. This man is still scrabbling. As soon as he got it, said, I'll never get a spare rep like this. Let me have a go and take some feel for myself. What a hit indeed. And that's a turnover immediately. I mean, from a liner that's gone pear-shaped and set it to a scrum, and suddenly this man is really putting his body on the line here, which is lovely to see. That Alberton needs to do more of these things, take these opportunities. This is sacred world, sacred ground. They need to take advantage.
Paulson at the back of that scrum gets it going. It's in the hands of Van Skalkwyk, and again, what a way to come through there on defense. And this man, Drew Bennett, doesn't waste any time in putting aside on the back foot. And now Wits are back in their own half and defends.
You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to dive on that falling player. And that was another mistake there from Wits. Calling but blood rush right into the head. No eyes, no cool. He needed to keep his calm. Remember, the players on the ground. All you do, get over him, get the ball, force him not to come up.
Who's he going to give the ball to when he's on his own there?
You don't have to take it. Just wait there long enough. A ref will actually think the man is holding on, and you would have got a penalty and in fact. But sometimes to get a good discipline play would have let go as well. So I think that was just a little bit ill-discipline from Wits. Too much excitement. But like I said, Alberton needs to realize now anything on their half, it's possible to make a very, very bad mistake, and then next minute it's costing you points. Now from where they were attacking, they have to now go back again, start from scratch. I mean, it's like talking about working like a chicken. You work twice as hard, but you don't want to get rewarded.
Right, where does this throw go now from Malangwe?
Oh,
finally into the hands of Christian Leroux. Van Schalkwyk now just hesitates a little bit, and a terrible mistake in defense. I wonder if Botha was thrown off by the dummy there, by his fly off.
Listen, that was a magician Ben. I mean, it was a dummy switch pop, and he certainly wanted to kick. Remember, when you're not used to kicking, even your body gets shocked sometimes what you're going to do, because that's what he was thinking about there, to actually kick the ball immediately. But he needed to pass that ball. He had a man free on the outside, but exactly what happened there, he was doing two things at once.
Just have a look here. Van Schalkwyk just before that hesitated a little bit, and I think perhaps Botha just in two minds as to whether the ball was going to come to him or not, but he's still got to keep an eye on the action. Because otherwise, what's he looking at? Somebody in the stands, not too sure. And now Wits have an opportunity to extend the lead just before the break. Lovely work from Bennett to Okamp, who takes it up. Ever-present force is the scrum off of Wits. Taken on further there by Lesozi.
Oh,
and
what a
lovely little break. Knife through Butterstuff. Easy as you like, and Nkomo over for a 5-pointer. And the dominance early on in the first half of Wits has returned just before the end of it.
Yeah, I can tell you now that I think Wits is going to get their tails up again. I mean, what a line. That line he ran, he took the foot off the pedal the minute he got the ball, because the defense was certainly not in line to pick it up as well.
Just to have a look at how this beautiful try came about off the base of a very good scrum. And then scrum off.
The key players there was 11 and 13, and that's what Alberton could see. They couldn't see the fullback coming from depth, from a different angle. Only the playmaker was able to pick him up, then level it in space. What a beautiful pass in there, because it was like intuition, telepathic, or maybe something that we know it's a move that they planned.
I hear you. I was just going to say that Drew Bennett just held onto that ball long enough to put Nkomo through easily. Now Okamp looking to convert. He's only missed one conversion thus far in the half of the try by Songlisha. And I'm afraid the radar off here as well. So that conversion missed. An opportunity for another 2 points has gone a-begging. But that is how we'll get to the end of the first half as well. That man in shine will be the happiest. He will probably be the loudest, along with coach Jaco Botha, because at the break, that's 24, Alberton Yelanda 5. It is the first round of the Casalaga Pirates Grand Challenge. Lavender Rek here from Alberton. We welcome you back for the second half of this first round clash in the Casalaga Pirates Grand Challenge. The home side Alberton have it all to do in the second 40, because it's the Wits University team that have taken the trip from Johannesburg, and they've had it all their own way here on the East Rand. Temperature cooling a little bit as Wits lead 26-5 at the break. 4 tries and 3 conversions. 11 points for the fly-off of Wits Aldrich Houkamp, who after missing with his first conversion has not set a foot wrong. And coaches Jamie De Bruin and Sabelo Nhlapo from Wits will be very proud. Remains to be seen what coaches Jaco Botha and Hendrik Paulsen, the backline and forwards coach respectively of the home side Alberton, would have said to their side as they come onto the park here now. Wits have not left the field. And Lawrence Apaka, that Alberton side would have gone into those brand spanking new change rooms. 2 million rand investment at this ground. So they would have been in good surroundings to plot their way through the second half.
Yeah, certainly Alberton, Irlander here certainly putting the money where their mouth is. Certainly that actually just pay dividends sometimes when the players can see money's been put in, effort has been put in, and they probably can now have a bit of sigh of relief and actually put the pressure and put the effort in as well as players to actually make the whole plan work. Remember, the investment goes hand in hand with dividends as well, so these players need to just put their best foot forward, give their all. That's all the coaches really want at this point in time. Hopefully those oranges were nice and juicy, because they certainly need it now.
Richard Schultz gets matters underway. The kickoff there from Keegan van Skalkwyk, and a little bit of loose play there once more. Knock on Wits ball.
Yeah, Lesego, they just caught napping, and what a contest there from the number 8. He's the man who's really been busy from the losing side here. Sean Potgieter has been in the thick of things, running loose like a loose forward should be, but he seems to be finding himself nicely. He seems to know where the ball will be, or the ball will pop up at some point, and certainly that opportunity gone begging, stole it, but his hooker unable to dive on it. He tried to pick it up, you know, don't have that kind of skill, but diving on it would have been safer.
The 9 from Wits has impressed me. Drew Bennett, born in the Eastern Cape, and now lovely scrum here. But exit strategy for Wits. Botha has ball in hand. He'll take his man on, and he runs into a wall of 3-4 players. Now who's there first? Well done Alberton, they get it out. Chance to launch out through Paulsen. Van Skalkwyk with the cross kick here. That's straight at his man, and a chance for Wits again, and Cormo, who's already got a try in the game. He finished off the half with a superb little cutting run. The opposite team's try scorer. And Onselanova in there now. Hands in, lovely shove there by the number 3. Christo Swanepoel, and Wits come away with it. Beautiful hands there by Harold. And away now of it to Siakulu, vice captain. It's the big men now, and Nkomo, I'm afraid, has let that one slip through the hands. But they were playing off an advantage.
What a Peter Meadows really been having a good game today. And that opportunity just begging. He tried to hug the ball instead of trying to catch it with 2 hands. It was a beautiful pass. I mean, obviously the pressure was relentless. I mean, they gone close to coast, but how beautiful touches there from the big man. And in Songisha, they're showing us a subtleness in his technique as well, of letting him in the little 5-meter space that they exploited in terms of getting around the numbers, which they did brilliantly. And then obviously great opportunity here. A run out. I mean, they're going 5 men. They actually go 6 men.
Goes to the middle, but the take not clean. It has gone backward, or as the referee seen, nah, he says it's gone forward there. So a splendid opportunity. That line-out driver set up 3 of the 4 tries here for Wits this afternoon. So it was a really good opportunity for them there.
Yeah, that was a brilliant opportunity for them to drive. You could see it was clear they wanted to drive as well, but they just forgot that there's things that need to happen before that happens. The line-out needs to happen, the throw needs to happen, the support needs to happen. People were not hands on deck, and that's a mistake popped. And there was a loose ball, unfortunately knocked on But Alberton would be complaining because they need to get out of their half here. They need a decent scrum as well. They're nice and fresh. I'm sure it will be stable, but first want to put a bit of pressure.
Paulson to Botha. Botha looking to get them away here. This is not going to go out. But Van Onselen was after it, and it's gone forward off his hands. Knock on, it will be Wits' ball here. Outside the 22 of the Yolanda.
I think Wits' right winger is also very happy. Lungelo Sithole there, because he was guilty of letting that ball bounce. What about just running onto that ball with pace and jump? Remember, no one can touch in the air. He would have actually got away with the goods there, but his opposite number just did enough to put him off. So that he can't get that ball and actually attack back. But Wits still in a great attacking opportunity here. But I think if anything to go by, Lindo Dladla here need to put a big scrum so they don't get that right shoulder and actually exploit the small blind that they have with no defender whatsoever.
Best scrum of the match here for Alberton. But Wits come away with it. That defensive line was so flat, but wonderful hands there by Siakulu. And on the outside is that very man you spoke about, Lungelo Sithole. Almost showed a clean pair of heels there. Sealing off there, Wits.
Great effort, beautiful strike move actually from a first phase. The scrum was not ideal. Lino did put enough pressure, but the opposite scrum I don't think not enough, because that ball should never come out that clean. But they got the dividends, they got around it, they got behind the defense. Unfortunately, not clinical enough at rag time. They're keeping their feet. Diving in, obviously, like missiles as well, so it's easy for the ref, Mr. Schultz, to pick it up.
The two scrums we've seen in the second half, I think you will be impressed by the way that Alberton have come back here. They've got the heaviest man on the field in the form of Lindo Dladla, all of 129 Ks. So they should hold sway there. And they're just beginning to show little seeds here amongst the forwards.
But remember how they wasted it in the first half. They also started like this, but they played too much rugby in their own half. Now they need to get out of here and play it safe and play on the other side of the field.
Alangwe with a good clean throw, finding his play. A lovely little kick through here by Botha. Superbly run on two and beautiful hands. And now Roberto Torres, can he find a man? They got over that quickly, lovely. Beautiful work by the 8th man, Sean Potgieter, as he kept that ball in play. And Mewis has just been scragged out here by Tyler Paulson.
Corporal, certainly what a punch, what a stab, what a probe. Look at that man go, certainly put everyone on there. Unfortunately, he needed all the speedsters. I don't think they read it as well. It was so smooth that they should have been the first guys there, because that ball went in. The bounce was perfect as well for Alberton, but unable to finish the job. But they still got the ball, managed to hustle themselves back that ball.
Can Mailangwe make it 2 good throws in a row? He does indeed. He's gone to the back. And an opportunity to launch here. Paulson will swing it out into the hands of Van Schalkwyk, and it's the captain himself. Benny Botha's looking to crash through there. They'll keep it going to the far side. Line just a little bit static, but that's splendid work there by Botha. He straightened up. Now looking to crash through via Sean Botha. And it's been stripped away, I'm afraid. Oh, but there was a hand in the ruck there.
Some dirty fingers down there, you will see. The techno was like, the ball is in my hand, ref. Can I use my hand? And suddenly just, sometimes not being sneaky, trying to put it not too obvious to his side, just let it go out so everyone can jump on it. And then Alberton settling probably the best attacking position in the second half here. They need to keep the screws tight and make sure they put enough. I mean, it is the first game, but I must say they look very good this time of the usually this is not kind of stuff you get from Alberton. So clearly guys are really sharp.
Yeah, very early days still, but Alberton have played these first 6 or so minutes in the half of Wits. Mailangwe, can he find his man again, and gets a little bit fortunate there, but I think the referee's called that it's not gone in straight.
Option.
This is what we've been talking about, the unforced errors taking its toll.
Yeah, no, Lesijo there, not doing Mailangwe, not doing himself any favors there. I mean, the jump was there, it was open, there was no contest whatsoever. He just overcooked this, but then it was skewed at the same time. So really putting pressure on himself, then putting his team under pressure. Actually, and doing all the good work, getting himself into that position. It means the big man needs to dig into that V8 again, trying to see they can destabilize the scrum of Wits. And it's a great position here to actually scrum off the ball and put everything they can. And they do exactly that, but Channel 1 is on point.
Stop, blue, forward.
Supreme pressure here on Wits, and the unforced errors, I'm afraid, just keep racking up on that occasion. It was Justin Liebenberg.
Was he infield?
Looked to me that he was.
No, I thought he was outside. Unfortunately, he was infield. The sun. Now the sun was definitely in his way.
The sun's on the other side of the field, Lawrence.
Udo, check that little bit of the sun that is left on the other side. That's exactly where he was.
In which universe does the sun set in the east, man?
If you look properly, where he was and he was walking back, I was like, oh, how could he have knocked that? I thought he was outside playing around with the ball. Unfortunately, Alberton not able to control that. I'm sure he'll be more than disappointed with himself there, Justin.
You Albertonians think too much. Right, scrum time. Alberton have been good in this facet of play. And a good scrum there again, but Wits, no, they get it out so quickly now. Out through Drew Bennett.
Stop.
Big boot by Okamp, and this one's not going to go out. It's languishing in the middle of the park there. Chance here again for Liebenberg to make amends from that earlier mistake. Let's get men on the outside. It's all happening a bit slow. Through the middle. He slices Jason Botha, but I'm afraid.
Wow.
Good work undone yet again.
Yeah, listen, you gotta forgive this man. He's been everywhere today. He's been running himself to a pulp. I think that pass was almost impossible as well. It was literally thrown in space, and the big man, Potgieter, unable to gather. But how did he get there himself as well? Look at that. He was not part of that contingent to counter-attack, and the guys that should have been closer, the guys like Justin and them, and he gets himself in the mixer, which is a perfect position. I think might have been in Justin's way as well, because I mean,
I'm just laughing at the way that the lock Josh Ferreira went down without even trying to go anywhere near the player. That's how good that step was from Botha. Alberton have stripped this one away, and it's in behind the winger. Justin Liebenberg under pressure now, but he still has ball in hand. Eventually releases, and Alberton playing out of their own half. Christian Leroux there, caught in possession, I'm afraid.
Number 2, straight off his feet, killing the contest.
Yeah, and it was Lesego Mailangwe there. It's been penalized.
And you talk when things are about to just start to come right for you, and then you make elementary mistake like that. I mean, really, there was no pressure whatsoever. They're just keeping your feet at the right time, and Lesego just flopped there. And I wonder if it's known probably telling stages of people being fatigued, and the coach needs to start looking at reserves, and you can change. Just add some energy, because that's all they need at the moment.
Well, I tell you what, the reserves bench is right next to our commentary position. Hasn't been too much movement. A couple of players just warming up, as you would expect, but doesn't seem to be intent just yet.
White.
Finds his jumper just nicely, and now sets them up superbly. Drive look is in behind it. Miervese is. He's now got ball in hand. Can he snipe at the line? Will he break off? Nope, they keep it all intact. And now the number 8 there, Sean Potgieter. He's gone in on the wrong side, I'm afraid. And was that over the line?
Yeah, it looks like it was over the line. I think number 8, Potgieter, was probably assisting him, trying to get hold of the ball and push him against the grain there. And I just want to pick up which number actually scored that try. Yeah, Nana Alberton certainly not doing themselves any favors at the moment, because mistake after mistake, and Wits is just making them pay again. And remember, they've even had a lot of ball currently. Imagine now you just get out of the woodwork and you come away with goods.
Let's have a look at this now. So Miervese at the back looks to break away. Now you'll see the Alberton player coming around. The try line is right there. And somehow, there we go, yeah, that intervention, not in time, and you can see clearly there, it is Miervese who eventually finished it off. So try time for Wits, first in the second half. First points of any kind for them. And I thought for a second the ref was blowing there for a penalty for Wits. And I'm afraid that conversion has gone awry as well. But the students are underway here in the second half. Their first try to add to the 4 in the first half.
Yeah, beautiful drive. I mean, obviously, Hooker gets to get that privilege of celebrating it. But I think it was a team effort. The force did a good job, kept their composure. He only just becomes a driver in that situation. He actually certainly drove himself into a very good position. A contestable. Oh, what a kick.
Action right in front of us, yeah.
Two, step.
Yellow Sitole was taken a little bit high, but he's been brought down.
Okay, let's use it now, 9.
Ah, lovely little charge down that man, all over the park, Sean Potgieter. He's put in a massive, massive effort here. Now, Mailangwe has the ball in hand.
I can't allow that. Both of you going off your feet. No advantage, not on first by
I think of Ferfe, his first touch on the field just makes a telling tale there. Charge down and basically come to add his weight to the fray. And I said, let's see. Where is he coming actually down? Obviously, one pear shape there for Wits, but they managed to survive another onslaught.
So, Jean Combrink, pop and utility back Mark Verveer on the park now for Alberton. I've got a feeling there might just be a jersey issue. Might just be the other way around. 17 and 23, they're on the park.
Guys, we're going in too early again. I know we want to get in, but just wait a second for the set ball before we go in. No, just both sides. Both sides. Crouch.
And certainly new faces on the field and Bezel like Jean Combrink. What a place to start. He needs to make sure now, coaches, the faith that he showed him when he put pressure. Oh, that went pear-shaped there for days. I think Schaefer's moved to the right-hand side and Lindo has left the field. He's been replaced there by Combrink. That didn't start very well for Schaefer there because they came in with an angle on him, but so much of an angle that the ref picked up that you guys need to go straight before he can borrow in there as well. But listen, he's actually staunch scrum as well. He makes out, he's not young under the tooth anymore, the 20-year-old. It's one of the experienced players. Campaigners is one of the men who actually has got the engine to probably push for the all 80. But you got important there. You got to have an engine, but then he needs to keep working. Can have a few screws now and again, but I have another chance here. But why are they going full line out? I think Wits is going to contest with 2 pots, so it means they're going to put themselves seriously under pressure, but they get it.
Scrappy possession though.
Tackle a man without the ball.
Paulson under pressure, never had that ball in possession.
Yeah,
you can hear there from
sorry, Udo.
Referee Schultz just telling them there. Now again, this man caught in possession a little bit. Keegan van Skalkwijk. Looking to straighten the line is Byron van Onselen, but in the process he's lost it.
It's on the ball. It's on the ball.
Will come out. Good work here by Shorzy for Wits. It's Joshua Herald with a kick upfield. Puerta in behind it. You can bet he's going to run, and he does indeed. It was a good charge there by the fullback. We'll bring it to the near side of the park now. To Paulson. Lovely little pop pass there to the man who's also just come onto the field. Looks like Brandon Scholz. It's all a little bit scrappy here by Alberton. They somehow found a way to play themselves back into their own half.
And I'm trying to get also out lucky there, Udo, because they were offside there for days and ref actually missed it completely after that break.
Ah, superb by Nkomo. He wants to get this going quickly. The kick was out directly.
Yeah, Nkomo's had a good game there, just flexing his muscles as well. That's one thing he needs to be doing all the time. No ball should be dropping in his watch. And certainly I hope it's not only the one for grandstanding that he actually picks it up, because the ones on the field, those are the ones he needs to make sure they don't fall on the ground to give him any doubt in terms of how to attack.
Miovasa with a good clean throw to the captain, George Davenish. And now mini break is on the cards here for Silinda. So had a fairly quiet first half. So the flank forward.
Clear, roll away, please.
It's a very good position here for Wits. Just get called for slowing down. That ball coming out on Wits' side. And a very good position here. Will they go for the line again? You betcha. It's been the key to their success. Setting up that line out, drive meters away from the try line.
Yeah, certainly a telling tackle from the Corporal, Benny Potter. Unfortunately found himself on the wrong side of the field, and a body's piled on top of him. Was unable to move, giving a penalty away. Wits turning down an easy 3-pointers they could have taken from that. They certainly want to push a scoreboard, going for a full man.
That's clean. Out. That is clean. And now the drive will come. In behind it is Miaya Songlisha, the scorer of the game's first try. He's got the ball in, and this is a really splendid drive there. Look at the leg power. And just splitting the defense here of Alberton. There's trouble here. Big trouble. Niebese in the mix there as well. They're right on the try line. And it's another 5-pointer.
I think Wits was very smart. They smuggled the ball back, actually changed hands a couple of times. We all expected Deacon Mievese to actually come up with the goods. But he managed to just sneak it past to his second row man there. I need to just pick up. And certainly, I don't know how he got himself into that sticky situation. As a tall man, it's easy to pick up, but very good at hiding balls. And certainly a good try there for Wits. I think for look away to Lushozi, they actually niggled him away. In there, you can see the ball's been sparkling. It's nice and low. He's not actually picked up because they're watching the man at the back, and it's not him. And he was right in the middle there. And certainly by the time it went down, the replacement tried by all means Mark Vervey to get himself in the mix there, but unfortunately unable to do so.
So away to Leshozi with the second try of the second half for Wits. Man who was born in Richards Bay and then moved up to Bryanston. Matriculated in Bryanston High in the year 2016. He's one of the slightly older players on the side at 24. Former pucker player. Left them a year ago to come to Wits. And that is going to be pulled wide as well. I'm afraid the kicking has not been the best, neither from the tee nor the hand today.
You'll probably forgive Udo. I don't think they've been scoring tries really underneath the post. I think about 2 of them were probably underneath the post. Most of them were at the corner. And for some reason, I suppose when those 5 points are ticking, the 2 points probably is not as painful as much as Alberton going to have another one, a contestable kick here to get himself back into the mix.
And it's the captain himself, Benny Buerta, will get things underway here. It's good work here. Taking 2-3 men with him is George Devonish, the captain of it. He's also had a fairly quiet game. And Como now looking for that far side touchline. Has it gone directly out? It looks that way.
Probably one time he's put his foot wrong, and when especially that was suspected to probably run, and he probably did something that he probably didn't expect himself to do, because that ball was ripe to be actually handled by the hands. And numbers for all money there. Even the defensive players in terms of receiving kick were not in positions to be getting any kicks. Actually, Alberton was very lucky. If that ball hit the ground, they really would have to run about 30 meters back to go defend again.
I just saw the ponytail Johan Westerberg there as well, player number 22. Is he on the field for his brother Danny Westenberg? Outside center. We'll just have a quick look there and confirm that for you. We Joe here in full cry at Alberton in the background. I'm hoping you can hear it bleed through our microphones as the home fans are looking to sing their side alive, because on the park 34-5 the scoreline, and it's been a good day for Alberton. The other 2 sides have both beaten the Wits counterparts that have made the trip to the East Rand.
Yeah, certainly the other 2 ones apparently did very well. The second team right in front of our eyes here, and I thought that would have been inspiration for this first team to actually draw some energy from that as well. But if not the case, they're certainly drawing it from the crowd here.
It's good work there by Baden Scholes. Quick up in defense.
Stop.
Now
Oh!
gets it, and I'm afraid
that hit
again.
me right in the middle of my heart. So painful, so much time, maybe too much time. That's why he probably thought he had it all. And certainly one team, I was about to actually congratulating him from not letting that ball bounce. He could have done either of those things. He decided to go straight for the kill and catch that ball, and then the basket had a hole.
Told you,
mouse in his
told
house.
you. You guys think too much here in Alberton. Just watch ball, play ball.
Was he thinking of this next move? Is he gonna counter? Because he's a Man City, doesn't like to kick. If you're a defensive player, you certainly want to make sure you put pressure at him all the time with two numbers, because he's a strong man.
So a couple of changes in that front row there for Alberton. Got to say, it's doing the trick at scrum time. But there are a couple of other facets of play where Alberton, the Yelland, are just not helping themselves. Oh, that pass is not great, but lovely work there by Joshua Harold, and he gets away as well. Puts his man away. Nkomo, an ever-present force. Kulu on the outside. And easy as you like, a walkover try there for Wits University.
Advantage.
It's Siakulu. Easy as you like.
Yeah, certainly the man who did a hallelujah pass, they ended up following to support and see what happens. Amanovi's beautiful hands at 13, correction everything. And look how he straightened up that line, bringing in Nkomo there and actually support plays ever. I thought he was gone for all money, and the left winger says, no, I'm here to support you. What you gonna do? And the eats and said is like, thank you very much, I'll finish what I started. Siakulu, and it's obviously the strutting as well. I don't know, is that part of his dancing routine or did he pull something? But certainly we were happy either way.
It's the early winter, so those hammies are going to tighten up here as the temperature drops, and we have felt a little bit of a temperature drop. Okampia looking for the conversion with Bueta. Just
Probably one of
receiving
the
some
easier ones
treatment.
there.
Yeah, that bread basket is a little bit defective there for Bueta. Now this kick, yep, the flags are raised and the 2 points added.
And you'll probably forgive me saying this, is painful as it might be. This is more like the scoreboard you'll probably expect from a club and a university, just from the basis of the resources and opportunities these young men have. Some of them train from morning to night, and some of these boys they're playing against, they probably have a shift to push, and then after the shift getting to those hours and getting some gym and some work done. Some rugby players, you can see it's a social event, but listen, they're putting their best foot forward. But how an interesting game we have in our hands here.
Absolutely, that's been plucked out the sky by Davinish.
Go back, Drew, go back, go back.
Alberton looking to apply the pressure here, but Nkomo with the timely pass. Kulu, the try scorer, and outer wide to Kevin Cherwa, who's still going. And that's gone forward though. So look how quickly player number 22, Tando Elwane, came through there.
Elwane was trying to correct just in case the referees missed something here. He wanted to make sure by the time the ref changes his mind, they've got a ball in hand. I think the outside centre must have done some harm to himself here right in front of us. From that situation, he exited himself naturally there. And reinforcement coming in leaps and bounds. And obviously, like I said, it's the first game of the season. And the grand challenge is some of the bodies are going to be very tired. But some of the students, you know, they've got a couple of competitions that happens before the time.
The 12 fun bloke.
Just listening to the referee there, he's made the call.
Okay, captain.
We'll have an opportunity here just to have a look at that move again. Cherwa coming through the middle. And then the tackle comes and the ball's gone forward. And it's kicked through by Elwane.
Okay, guys. We had a good
listen
game up until the last 5 minutes. We're getting a lot of questions from you guys, complaining about decisions. You guys making late tackles. We need to keep the game back to what it was in the first 65 minutes, because otherwise we're going to see players. I understand you got the advantage for the late tackle, but your player can't take the law into his own hands and go slap the guy into in the face. Okay, so that's going to be a penalty against you. I will sort that. If you don't want the advantage, you tell me, I'll allow the penalty immediately, and then we don't play the advantage. It's your choice. Okay, we're going back.
Yeah, long listening and a couple of yes sirs, and Davinish is still going here. Thought he got the full explanation. As Richard Schultz has explained himself quite thoroughly there. And it's got to be said, he's right. It was a beautiful, clean, crisp first half.
No, I think some of them are miscruiting the scoreboard, is that they know better than the ref at the moment. Every second play having a word or two to reply. That referee doesn't know what he's doing here. And obviously Alberton trying to take a few scalps in the process. If that pass is 2 seconds late, they make sure next time you pass it a lot earlier. Otherwise, you'll be picking up your limb somewhere along the way to Johannesburg.
Botha getting it just over the 22. And it's in these moments where Alberton have let themselves down. They've been here a couple of times in the second half. They've been in a place, in territory to set up something good. So Mailangwe has to find his jumper. He won't. Oh my goodness. That was a good strip away there from Davinish. And Wits come away with it. 41 points to 5. Just looks like there will be no momentum swing here for the home side, Alberton. Botha's there, a good clean catch this time. Now he has time to think about it. Oh, wonderful defense there from Josh Ferreira. Just for a second there, it looks like, is it Onglisha who's just injured on the park there?
I think someone's trying to pull Mr. Schultz into the rack there and have a word or two. Certainly that was a bit unfortunate. I think he felt that ball was out as well, because I would have thought he penalized him from coming from the side. But again, the Alberton fullback not really making great decisions at the moment. Jason Botha, he had two players on his right and his left. He didn't even look at them. He literally just looked where the gap I'm going to take. Now I can imagine what those that basis wings on strings. Both wingers, the 14 and the 11, were thinking, nah, you're on your own, mate. We're not coming there. We waited for you to play. You decided not to. You're not getting involved. But I suppose he was running to where the traffic was as well, hoping his forwards are going to save him there and probably salvage the situation. But like a lesson, you're playing in that position, you got to really consider other players as well.
So you tell me, Captain, you want the penalty.
You're stopping a very good meeting here. Once again, Cavendish and Schultz going at it. Just being told that you have the advantage at your disposal. You tell me what you want to do, but just too many conversations being had here. Just relay the message, get the game on. Your side's up 41-5.
Uqadi Makalima, another staunch man, another powerful hooker coming into the fray there. I wonder now if he's going to cover hooker, is going to kind of flanker here, because he can actually play that as well. So let's see what he can add here, and obviously fresh. Although he jogged up as if he was not, maybe playing nonchalant, waiting for the ball, waiting for a moment to show what he's made of. We're all waiting to see, because I think Alberton needs him as well here to make sure something needs to spark this Alberton team again. It's decent scrum, that ball needs to come, going against the grain. That's what happens sometimes.
Paulson's got to tidy up here. It's in the hands of Benny Botha. Now look at the difference. They're looking for the support immediately. It's not the greatest pass, but I'm afraid Van Onselen has let himself and his team down as well.
Within the 5-meter line, the fullback, I don't know if he knows the rules, but that actually could have been simply a penalty if the ref decided so, because he was not within 5 meters by preventing that pass from being passed there. Alberton not doing themselves any favors here. I mean, Brian Van Onselen there. That pass was in the basket.
Lovely throw there from Jefferson. Chance to attack. Little show and go there by Thomas Meintjes. It's Van Skalkwyk who's caught ball and all. Certainly my player of the game so far, Drew Bennett. Clean pair of heels, he gets away, but he's taken out on the far side. How good has this number 9 from Wits been today in the way that he's orchestrated play for them?
Listen, any good scrummer will shine when you're playing against a peg. You get a quality ball, everything that's coming right, especially when Alberton had all the momentum in the day, they didn't use it. And when first came out of those blocks, and it certainly made sure that they're not going to let over anything, and they've been getting quite a quality ball. He's been the playmaker, the string puller here, deciding when to run, deciding when to kick. And obviously we've seen a couple of box kicks from him as well. Him and the fullback are certainly great contenders for now, that man of the match at the moment, because that's all you can see there. And the center's been steady, but I think those two players are certainly pushing for that position at the moment.
7 minutes remain. The deficit is a full 36 points. So what are Alberton, what are the Ierlander playing for here in those final few minutes? So having a look at Sean Botha, he refuses. He doesn't want to get off the park here this afternoon. Jefferson to the back, lovely take there by Davinish. Now this back line keeps coming. In possession there is Dando Ngelwane.
Leave it.
Go back to the far side. Bennett with a lovely little pass, and Como finds his man. And Skalkvik here to Chirwa. Chirwa looking on the outside. Beautiful pass around his man. And somehow the hook has found himself in possession. Just not able to keep it alive. Well done to the number 2 for keeping up there with Chirwa.
I'm telling you, he knows where the shortcut is. Certainly know where to get there. Chirwa's one is not a slouch, and certainly for him to get there for support, that was good. And for obviously presence of mind to keep the ball alive was key. But unfortunately, I don't think they realized where the 16th defender was. And it certainly was the Achilles heel for them not to be able to get any points from that.
Okay.
Let's see, obviously.
Beautiful work here by Wits. It was sparked there by Chirwa here with this lovely break. And have a look at that pass around the outside. Again, really good awareness of where that space is. But Botha doing well to judo tackle Mjøvsen out the park.
Backwards.
It's gone backwards, says the referee. So Chirwa, what does he do with the ball now? That is a beautiful little step, and lovely work here now. Comes out on Como. He's got good hands, good feet. Pops to go on the outside. He has bamboozled Van Otselen. Has he put that ball down? My word.
Talk about being cheeky and tippy toes. He literally just went airborne and leave the ball by the corner. And certainly he was really putting his name down now. And actually was nothing on there, to be honest. And if you think about it as well, the ball going through the hands, and let's see, it's a good look at that. That was a poor effort there from Alberton's Brian van Onselen there. A handoff, look at that. He knew the hit was coming.
Lovely.
He needed to get the ball as quickly as possible. That's probably the funniest airborne I've ever seen in my life.
You know, in football parlance, they say, watch the ball, not the feet. And Van Onselen, I think, there was watching the feet. And he got suckered. Took him on the outside, did the fullback. It's Milelo Nkomo, old Westville boys high matriculant, all the way back in the year 20. And I tell you what, we told you earlier, he calls himself Messi, the GOAT. He showed it there.
Now we know why they're calling him the GOAT.
Or maybe why he calls himself that.
Maybe for the footwork, because I can't even can call himself a GOAT for that matter. But we understand now how he can shuffle himself out of trouble. Whoa, somebody's come to dance.
There we go. Okamp makes it 3 on the trot here in the second half. So 2 points added, and they're now 2 away from that milestone of 50 points, and they're just under 5 minutes left in this match. Not the way that Alberton, that the Irlander would have wanted to kick off the Casalaga Pirates Grand Challenge. And bear in mind, they're on home soil today. This man has taken over the kicking responsibilities, the captain in the second half, and Davinish almost always there to receive. And Skalkvik here to his inside center, Ulu. And the vice-captain stays on his feet. Chirwa has it. Mjøvsen finds himself on the outside again. Keeps it alive.
Slight knock on there. But I think the pass was overzealous as well. I think he overhooked it, trying to overdo that whole wrist movement. No coaches actually practice that during the week. Soft ends, you got to bring it through the wrist. And unfortunately, the hooker was flat. He wanted something more sympathetic into his gut. And that was not a case from Chirwa. But I was expecting someone quicker from deep. Maybe that's why he actually didn't get there. But listen, Wits is willing to play. They are looking for that 50-pointer here. I think we might just get it before the game is over.
Yeah, just have a look here again. Chirwa, Mjøvsen, the combination from that previous try.
Talking about the rest, he did more than the rest. The elbow was also involved. Maybe that was a problem. He needed to just have a slight softer pass. That was a bit too much.
And it was a no-look as well. You saw it. Chirwa was looking straight in front of it.
They was expecting someone quicker and deeper.
Right, so there are some tired Alberton bodies here. Ex-Alberton player, Lawrence Zepaka. I'm sure you are beginning to prepare in your head what this team needs to be told after these 80 minutes as we see Sean Gwenya coming onto the field. Yeah, this should be part of the victory, but what are you going to say to these players? Now, yes, it is early days, but what knowledge can you impart?
No, it's very important to respect the ball, to respect the position of field, respect your opponent. Because I don't think in the beginning they were too overzealous, too excited, too confident maybe, because they were not playing on the right side of the field. That's what cost them mostly. Because they started like a house on fire, which is correct. But sometimes you need to play smart as well.
What else? finds his outside centre. This man has been injured just a couple of seconds ago, Westenberg. He's now on the charge. Botha to Paulson, who kicks it into space and gets tripped in the process. Chirwa caught in possession, but he gets away from the attention of the defenders. Superb work here. Another one of the real
The ball is available.
battering rams for Wits today. Thomas Meintjes, who had the ball in possession there now. Nakbulu into Nkomo's hands. And now have a look at this. Oh, Lawrence Zapaka's going to be loving this. Still has it. Still going. Yes, please.
Leave it, 20. Leave
They're
it.
not tackling the man, they're tackling the ball, and they're making a big mistake.
This is just good, clean possession. Phase after phase. They're playing their way methodically out of their own half. And how's that for a nice, clean break there by Awetu Leshozi, rather. Another one of the real standout players for Wits today. That's a nice kick through. Can van Schalkwyk receive it himself and gets it away. That's great work. Straight into the hands of Josh Ferreira. And they keep going. Lovely little pass. But Zonglisha wasn't expecting it.
No tackle. It wasn't a tackle. Play
It was
on.
more of a surprise for the big men, but they still managed to steal the ball back there by smash and grab. And they certainly want to get that 5-pointer here. And they're taking their time doing that. There's a big man involved again.
Leave it, 13.
He's the one who sparked it all, scored the first try of the match, and right off his shoulder. Have a look at this. Keep going. Oh, my goodness. Great work by Leshozi. And Mirvis looking for his second try of the afternoon. Just could not control it. Ah, despair.
Lishozi was the lazy offload there. That was too low for the hooker, who's really been in the thick of things at Declan Mirvis, and certainly would have been happy to get this one. Look at this. Right through, he thought he was gone for all money, gets it straight there, but little scrum off, and obviously needed to take his time there. Remember, he was not even stable to offload there. He needed to fall, just throw it in the air. The big man would have just snatched it and put it away. But I think the scrum here could have been something, but I'm sure Alberton won't kick out.
Tyler Paulson, the scrum off, went skiing there behind the boat. That was Awetu Leshozi.
Fine.
Right, final opportunity here. Will be a feed for Alberton through Sticks Silema, and he's the man who's at the back of that scrum now. Botha just needs to tidy it up here. And
The one time he mustn't kick, he decides to kick.
And he brings an end to what has been an agonizing afternoon. Wits have been thoroughly deserving winners. Just shy of that 50-point milestone, but Alberton will know that they've been in a battle where the better team has won on the day. Yes, they've been their own worst enemy with a lot of unforced errors from minute one. But splendid victory for the students, 48-5.
Well done there to Wits, certainly coming up the goods. They're just showing some patience. They started slowly, but certainly believing their guts and their systems. I'm sure more men that would have been happy today. Jamie the Brain, Sibelo, Ntapo, and Jack Durant certainly will feel like they've done their work today. They've done their duty, making sure that these chargers just believe in their system and getting right. And Alberton, first game out, certainly looking much better than previous years. And I think a lot of things to learn from this game. That's what rugby is about. When you lose, you don't lose, you actually learn a little harder than the team has won. Their Wits certainly happy come with the goods away from home here, and Alberton will certainly go back to the drawing board. 48 points to 5. That's how it ends today. And one of the men that was certainly shining like a superstar today is the fullback, Simelelo Nkomo, a well-deserved man of the match, and certainly a man who's been controlling the proceedings from behind and actually deciding to kick, deciding to run, and obviously wings on strings on deck as well to make sure that whatever he decides, he had support there going on as well. And then obviously Alberton, they're disappointed, showing some smile, continue to as well, and actually lovely scenes here. And locals happy, people are happy, children are happy, the coaches, and certainly taking. But there's the man of the match. He's certainly going to be celebrating Castle, man of the match, turning doing very well. Udo, off to you.
Well, I'm here with player of the match, Similela Nkomo. You got your hands full here, but you made sure that Alberton had their hands full on the park here as well.
No, it's been a good game, first game of the season, so obviously grateful to the Lord to finish the game uninjured and with the win. So yeah, onwards and upwards.
I want to go back to that first try that you scored here this afternoon, where you just sniped through. There seems to be really good synergy between the scrum half and the rest of the back line.
Yeah, no, obviously, like, we've been training with the Varsity Cup side, so yeah, we've been training since Jan, so obviously, like, with 3 months of training, it gets to a point where we're just gelling and playing comfortable rugby, so just happy that it showed up today.
Were you expecting the margin to be as big as it was today?
Honestly, no, never. Because you never know with these open sides, you know, we don't know how long they've been training, and then just physically, we knew that we had to front up, so 50 points is quite a score, so proud of that. So looking forward to next week.
I don't know how it works in the team. It is the Castle Lager Pirates Grand Challenge. Are you sharing this around this afternoon?
No, I have to think about that.
You do it, you deserved it. Well done. There we go. Player of the match, of course, today, Similela Nkomo. And we got the losing captain on the day here with us as well, Benny Boertes, pull in here. Corporal, in front of the home fans, and they're cheering for you even after today's result. Take us through what your thoughts are after this game.
No, what can I say? It's we need to get back to the drawing board. Wits is always a tough side to actually play against. You know, the varsity sides. So yeah, it's just back to the drawing board, and we just need to get our things straight.
Well, in terms of getting things straight, there were several unforced errors by the team today. Is that just because it's early in the season, or do you write it down to something else?
I think it's just nerves, being the first game of the season. I think it's nerves that came down to it. And but yeah, we'll get it right. It's always we're a young team, and we're striving for something good.
But you had a couple of good runs through the middle of the park today. Huh?
Yes, yeah. We always try.
Lovely, lovely. Thank you very much, Captain. There we go. Unfortunate for you today, but let's have a chat with the captain of the winning side today, George Devonish. Come on, step on side here, good sir. What do you write today's victory down to?
I think it's our fitness coming in from the Varsity Cup. Yeah, I thought we started off a bit slow. It took a while to get into our structure. Once we let the boys play, once we listened to the coaches, worked out obviously as they planned. That's why we trained so hard. That's why we did.
Some splendid work by the forwards. You were given a tough time, particularly in the scrum facet of play by this Alberton side. But the slick handling from your backs, you could just see that they were a step above in terms of their preparedness for the season.
Definitely, yeah, you can see it was just clean, simple, doing their job. I think Alberton, they made our lives very difficult in the line-out. Still don't know what to call in the line-out. If you give me another one now, I don't think I'd have an open line-out ball. So yeah, so top stuff by Alberton. They came out here, they gave us a lot of hard work, made the students think, which is, well, I mean, we don't do it often. But yeah, no, it was a great game, great crowd out here.
Sets the season up superbly. What are your ambitions for the season?
Yeah, always to go all the way, obviously. Yeah, I think we've definitely got it in the bank. We definitely can. It's up to us to execute, take it forward, do what we can do, keep this momentum and go forward.
Beautiful. There we go. Triumphant captain on the day, George Devonish. He's going to go off and celebrate with his team. But a splendid win for Wits out in Alberton today in round 1 of the Castle Lager Pirates Grand Challenge.
There you got it, folks. Udo Karel and Lawrence Parker here. Thank you for joining us and enjoying this Castle Lager Grand Challenge, the first one of many. Certainly looking forward to the next opportunity to bringing it to you.